Throughout February, CBSN New York is celebrating Black History Month. You've seen the vignettes we have on CBS 2, CBSN New York, and our website, cbsnewyork.com. We are highlighting the achievements of African-American trailblazers and trendsetters. So to pay tribute to those people, we asked some artists, spoken word artists, to have their say. Take a look and listen.
My name is Hayden Greene, and I am from the People's Republic of Brooklyn. I've been doing spoken word for about 15, 20 years now. Spoken word gives me the freedom of form and the ability to get my voice out there. I'm really inspired by all of the leaders that I saw growing up in Trinidad and even when I came back here to Brooklyn, and just people who put themselves out there in order to be judged, but also to be great. My message to the younger generation is simply that you have got to find your voice. You've got to find where you fit in and lean into that and be who you are and authentic to that piece.
Guess who's here? Hayden Greene. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, how are you?
I am good. You had some pipes there.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Clear message. You're a spoken word poet. Is that the proper thing to say?
Yeah, spoken word poet, spoken word artist, yeah.
And the director of cultural... Tell me your...
So, Director of Multicultural Affairs at Manhattan College.
Correct. Okay, sorry. Got to get that straight. So, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
I heard what you said. A lot of people don't understand spoken word origins and just how different it is and how well it communicates.
Yeah, so spoken word is really, when people think about spoken word, it's where the emphasis is on how the words sound and how it's communicated, as opposed to the written word. It's a heavy emphasis on performance. It came to a heyday in the Harlem Renaissance, and with the beatniks and beat poetry and things along those lines. And so one of the oldest poetry houses in the country is right here in the city, New Eurekan Poets Cafe.
Didn't know, okay.
Yeah, and so all spoken word artists have like a home, and New Eurekan is actually my home house.
Sounds like somewhere we should do a story there.
Absolutely.
Okay, so different subjects you choose. One of them is about Buffalo Soldiers, and for those who don't know who the Buffalo Soldiers were, please let us know first. We have a photograph, too.
Yeah, so the Buffalo Soldiers were this regiment. It was the 10th Regiment in the Army during the American Indian Wars, and they were one of the first that have freed people who were formerly enslaved and were given the opportunities to enlist in those in that regiment, and they got the name from the indigenous people here, and they likened them. You know, the jury's out on why they call them Buffalo Soldiers. One, because of their bravery, but also because their hair looked like the curly fur of the buffalo.
Well, let's listen to you now, Hayden.
Absolutely. Palms to the ground, I hear rumbling. Generations of strife, vibrating up my arm in syncopation with my soul. Beats of hooves and boots of men who have never been able to call this nation their own strike out a new tune on my veins like piano wire. They call them buffalo. I call them ancestors. Black history is our history.
How cool was that set up there, too? Just to be on the street and just happening.
So it was so funny because we're taping out there, and that's 1/2, right? And literally people were walking by. It's like, all right, who's that? And like trying to figure it out. You kind of feel like a celebrity.
You got a little audience there.
Yeah.
Mae Jemison, the first African-American woman in space. She has a lot of history. Let's take a look at her, a physician and an engineer as well. Let's listen in.
Stars. They told her to reach for the stars, and she did. They probably meant metaphorical stars, and they never expected Mae Jemison to break through the glass ceiling into outer space. But that's exactly what she did, and she touched the stars. Black history is our history.
Hayden, I'm wondering how, I mean, what is it? I hear spoken word, and I love words. And I took speech classes, but I'm just trying to find what is it that makes it so special, and that your audience, be it one person or 1,000 people, how do they connect?
I think part of it is the subject matter. And, you know, most spoken word artists really have a story to tell. And people love stories. The brain loves stories. There's an old saying that the brain loves stories so much that it tells it to itself when it's asleep, right? Those are our dreams. And so when you get somebody up there with a particular rhythm or a particular syncopation, it's really engaging in the audience. And I believe the more that we tell stories, the more we realize that we have so much in common because of those stories. And I think that makes for a better world. And people are out there listening for stories about things that are common to them. And so that's why it like draws people in.
I have to ask you, because I can see, may I?
Yeah.
This bow tie, it's wooden.
It's a wooden bow tie, yeah.
And it's a skyline.
That's the New York City skyline.
You could do a spoken word on that, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably could, yeah.
Loves the city, talks about the city.
Love it.
Where's the city?
Right.
Thank you so much for being here. Really great to meet you.
It was great being here. Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing your talent with us. Hayden Greene, spoken word poet and Director of Multicultural Affairs at Manhattan College. We'll be celebrating Black History all month long. Look for our reports every night here on CBSN New York and CBSNewYork.com.